Hello everyone. I wanted to talk about rewilding and what I mean by that. So if I say rewilding, or like the course we offer in Mimmer, Rewild Your Heart. So if we are rewilding our hearts and perhaps our minds, our souls, the totality of how we are human, what is the opposite to that? So if I would not rewild myself, I would perhaps stay tame. And what would I mean by staying tame? So I think the humans, society at large, our own expectations of ourselves, others' expectations, assumptions of what you should do or should not do, etc., is part of forming how you see yourself and what you should do in life, what choices you should make, what you should talk about, how you should be in relationships, etc. All of it, how you show up, basically. And I think we are tamed. Not willingly, perhaps. It's not something we sign up to, but through our lives we meet so many people in institutions and educations, etc., that forms us and our worldview and our view on ourselves. So in rewilding in its simplest form just means that letting a being or an entity, could be an animal, human animal, plant, tree, whatever, to grow as it grows. So not controlling it, not directing it, not deciding for it, not being an expert on what it should do or should be, how it should grow, what space it should take up or not take up. And I think for me that is a really good picture of how I want to be with myself. So I often strongly feel the pressure from how other people expect me to be, or expect me to fit in, or expect me to think about things, or expect me to like or dislike. And I feel it's hard to take the space and the room and the time to be different, to be more me. And this is what I mean by rewilding myself. And that has been a process that has taken many years, and it's still a process that I am kind of in the midst of, giving me this permission maybe to explore this. And it's not always easy. It takes me down some paths that I would prefer not to go down, actually. So it doesn't just mean that I gain access to something that is important to me, like being more alignment with myself and the natural world around me. But it also means I don't do things that I'm expected to do, fit in better into society, follow the usual career paths, prioritizing in a different way. So I really do love my life. I find it very exciting, and I do really like myself these days, and I have a really good life. But it's not easy. It's not an easy life. It's not easy to let myself grow in the directions that I'm growing in without trying to control it. So I don't know if this speaks to you. There are many different ways of rewilding yourself. Part of me doing it is exploring how I am with the more natural world, other non-human beings, persons, people, animals, plants, landscapes, places. It can be going out into nature. It can also be going to a park or going to a tree, or just paying attention to the birds around me, or it's actually a lot about paying attention or attending to in a different way than rushing through life, being busy with all these expectations and living up to all these things that comes with a package of being born in the Western world. Maybe it sounds gloomy or depressing or very hard or I don't know. This is not how it feels to me. I feel the hardship about it, and I also struggle with expressing what I mean about it. What do I mean by rewilding myself? But I genuinely really like this process. Or not only like, I'm passionate about it. And I have so many nice moments. So for now, I am out in it's not a park, and it's not a nature reserve. It's some piece of nature, you could call it, in the vicinity of where I live. So it's in the outskirts of a city. And there is a creek and some trees and plenty of birds around usually. And I go here with my camera. And I go here to sit and be. And also just walk around and be, actually. So it's not this one of these. I can see the high houses from here, the rental apartments. But if I turn my back to them, I see the creek, and it's this in-between space. But it's enough for me to practice my attending and to be with myself in a different way. And it's a bit freer than in the middle of a city. So, and this is part of what I talk about in these courses, or what I have discovered, that people come to them when I offer these rewilding workshops, and people kind of expect an instant shift or some deep learnings that I can just give them, but it's not how it works. So it's this exploratory journey, and it's different for everyone. So I can invite to it, and I can support it, and I can facilitate it, I can be a companion in it, but you have to do it yourself, as I have to do it for myself. And it's also about building a practice of doing it. So whatever you practice, you get better at. And this is what I practice. And it is part of my mindfulness practice. It's also part of my ecotherapy practice. It's part of my eco-learning. It's part of the bigger picture of eco-assisted services interventions. It's part of how I live, and it's both content and context. And I find, especially the context part, though the content is very important, of course, but most things I have encountered, most therapies or learning opportunities, places, workshops, they are not put in a context. This is my experience, and I really need that for me. So this place here is part of my context, and you can see a little bit of it. And if I shift, you see the apartment buildings over here, and this is a creek, and you can see that it's kind of early spring in Sweden, so not much is green, and the daylight is almost disappearing. But this is a good space. This is a good space to be in and exploring this. And yeah, I just wanted to speak to all of this, because I do get questions about what I mean with rewilding, and this is kind of me trying to introduce you to the concept. I hope I see you in the course or in some of our events later on, and who knows, one of these days I might even succeed in completing the book about rewilding your heart. We'll see. But I'm here if you want a companion on your rewilding journey. So join us for a course or reach out to me for online sessions, or if you live in the vicinity of where I am, which not many do, you can meet me in person. So thank you for listening. Bye bye.